You're listening to Gamers in Hot Tubs Talking Nerd Life, conversational podcasts about the positive impact video games have had on our lives. Recorded live on Kick from a hot tub in the game Palia, this is episode 3, with our special guests ScoopyToos and MamaSAMmurai, covering topics such as our earliest games, the influence of online interaction, and the Game Awards. If you'd like to support the podcast or be a guest on an upcoming episode, please be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and leave a review, and visit our Beacons page at beacons.ai/hottubgamers. You can follow both of us on Kick at Bad Wolf Rose and Plaid Baron, respectively. Without further ado, here's episode 3.
This is really bad.
It might be for the fact that you ate an entire tub of...
I didn't eat an entire tub yet.
You ate the whole hot tub? What?
Nope.
We're
A
gonna eat the
entire
hot
tub
yeah.
of what?
We're sharing a tub of rice pudding right now.
Well, welcome in, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you guys being here.
Uh-oh.
This is
This is going well, is what this is.
I got it. It's fine.
again. I blame Palia. We should petition them.
I'm sitting on Scott. All right.
It's fine. Everything's okay.
This is normal.
Everything's fine. This is fine. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, welcome in, guys. This is Gamers in Hot Tubs Talking Nerd Life, and we are recording live on Kick in Palia in a hot tub, and this is episode 3. My name is Kaylee, better known as Bad Wolf Rose or Rose,
And I am Danny, better known as Plaid Baron.
and we are here today with our friends MamaSAMmurai and ScoopyToos. Welcome in, guys.
What up, what up?
Hello.
Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I am Scott, also known as ScoopyToos,
I am MamaSAMmurai, known as Sam.
and we are both variety streamers playing in the realm of Palia, fantasy style. I play a lot of FPS and survival games.
I play a lot of horror and cozy games, as I like to call it.
One extreme or the other?
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Horror and cozy definitely go together. That's absolutely
totally
the same
do.
audience.
My phone just died on me, so I can't see my format.
Oh no.
I apologize. So, you gotta take it away for a second.
Okay.
Yay! Open format.
So, how long have you guys known each other?
We have been together for a little over 9 months now.
Oh, wow.
However, the story is a little bit more funny than that. Would you like to tell it, Sam?
No, you got it.
All right. So, we met using the interwebs. Facebook dating is going to be how we officially met. However, we matched on Tinder a while ago, and she ghosted me
times.
3 times.
Hmm.
And now that we are together, she is attached to my hip.
That's adorable.
It is. I love it.
All right, so you guys sort of floated around each other for a little while. How did it all get locked in?
I'll let her go with this one.
Nope, you got it.
Why is it always me?
Because you're the one
Sit-
the one that moved it forward.
She's trying to escape.
She's
guys.
trying to run away here.
We just made her uncomfortable. She's like, I'm leaving.
It's bothering me that I wasn't in my own space.
We kind of matched on Facebook dating, and I was like, I know you somehow, and I couldn't remember exactly how. And then I was like, wait a minute, I definitely you ghosted me on Tinder more than once. So we just started chatting, just casual talk. Found out she played video games. It was about the same time that I started really getting into video games again as well. From there, we just kind of talked more and more. She kept saying, I want to hang out. However, she never wanted to actually hang out. So 3 months goes by, and then finally I'm like, we hanging out or not? And she was like, yes.
No, that's not how that went.
It's exactly how it went.
No, it's not. So we had FaceTime for what was it, the second and third time?
Yeah.
And he was trying to figure out where the fuck I lived. And I had my window open because it was cold and he heard a train. So he's like, you live near a train station. So he was looking up train stations in New Jersey. He was like, is it this train station? And it was the correct one. I was like, shit! I was like, well, here's my address.
Wow.
That's how that went.
He like triangulated your position based on the sound of a train and what, like the
Yes.
location of the sun and the shadows in your room in order to.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm really good at Call of Duty, and when we had that train in Verdansk, like it really got me situated for this relationship.
Oh my god. It's like
It's
an extra
unreal.
level of like stalker funny
I was
cuteness.
gonna say this
It
sounds
was
very
really stalker
healthy.
because like I gave him hints.
Yeah,
Oh my
she was
God.
giving me hints, and
I was like, this is my street address. Good luck finding the number.
I promise it's not as creepy as it sounds.
If it was creepy, we wouldn't be together.
Yeah, I think you'd still be ghosting him at that point.
Yeah, he would be blocked.
Although, at what point would he actually get the hint?
The second time,
The second time she ghosted me, I started wondering, like, maybe if I wasn't worth it. But then the third time, I was like, nah, she's just playing hard to get.
Well, he started sitting in my Twitch streams, and I could see who sits in my Twitch streams, because I would look and see who was in there. He'd be sitting in there for hours, but not saying anything.
that's not entirely true.
Yes,
it
it
wasn't
is.
hours. It was like 15, 20 minutes.
No, it wasn't. It was hours. You would pop in every couple minutes.
Oh,
That's
he
not
was
true.
obsessed.
Yes, it is, because I saw you.
She's yelling at me.
I saw him, so he's lying.
That's adorable.
Gentlemen, let this be a hint to all of you. Stay persistent.
It's fun being pursued as a woman. It's not fun when the boy ghosts you. And like stuff like this, I think personally is entertaining.
I think it kind of all depends on who's pursuing you, though.
That is true. That is extremely true.
Like,
Because that level of stalker could be really weird.
right. There's some levels of chase that are fun and enjoyable, and there's some levels of chase that are like, I need to call the police.
Well, it was funny because I was telling my best friend about Scoopy. I said, we're going to meet soon. I was like, I can guarantee you this man is going to be mine. Those are my exact words to her.
Oh my god, that's amazing. So it was like a mutual obsession.
Oh, yes. I was very obsessed before he even knew I was obsessed.
That's hilarious.
I wouldn't have known.
I mean, we gotta leave you curious.
That's fair.
And now I literally take up his entire bed.
Mm-hmm.
You mean your bed?
Yeah, it's my bed.
Yeah.
He gets like the corner on the edge and
No,
none
it's
of the
exactly-
blanket.
No.
That's what happened last night. You had the sheet.
I chose to use the sheet because it got hot.
Oh.
No, she likes to do this thing where she'll lay on her back and then put her knee directly into my spine while taking up 95% of the bed.
Yeah, but you
Then I have
get
to
a
wake her
free
up.
chiropractor treatment out of it.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a good point.
Mind you, I'm unaware of what I'm doing. Until I literally wake up, he's like, move over.
I mean, that just goes with the territory, though.
Yep.
So she says.
What?
You say yup, I say sleep.
Yeah, but she makes the rules, don't forget.
That's fair.
He's acting as if he doesn't literally pull me onto his side of the bed.
No, I definitely do. Just not your knees.
I told you I inherited that from my mother.
Okay, so obviously, we got good chemistry going on here.
Yes.
So things are solid, things are good, and y'all are laughing, and that's healthy, and we love to see it. So, what was the first game you two played together?
Destiny 2.
Nice.
Oh my god, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that for you guys.
Like, he started playing it again, and he was, like, very
I
new late-ish.
I was 100% a new late. I had played the game once with another buddy of mine, and because I heard free-to-play game, and I was like, let's go! So I downloaded it, I beat most of Witch Queen, and then it was like, you have to buy the expansion, and that's where me and my friend fell off for like a year. Then she was like, oh, I play Destiny 2, we could play together, and I was like, yeah, I mean...
He thought it was a new light.
I'm looking at new games to play, so then I bought every expansion pack and got it. I truthfully did get obsessed for a little bit. We played that game every single day,
It was used to be my comfort game.
and then like the second season of the new DLC came out, and I was just like, I'm good, I'm done. It's
And it's
just
so sad, because I spent so much money on that game.
Well,
There's so much content in that game.
there's so much content, but it's so much content hidden behind paywalls.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. Now it is.
I definitely love that for you guys. That is awesome, and it's great to see you guys have that connection, even if it like wasn't what brought you together per se. The fact that you were like right off the bat able to have that kind of fun. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a great time being able to play games, just hang out.
And, you don't even have to be playing the same game.
Yeah, we don't even have, like, I
sometimes I literally just want to play a cozy game and he wants to play Warzone. I'm like, you can do that. I'll sit next to you, but I'm going to play Fate Farm.
Our computer and streaming setups are quite literally next to each other.
I love that when I watch you, Scoopy, I can see her sitting like behind you or beside you. It's adorable. And then she can like lean back and wave at me. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, Rose says hi. I'm like, oh! And I'll like lean all the way back and I'm like, can she see my hand?
I think I'm now following both you guys on Kick, or I was already.
I don't stream as often, but he's trying to lit a fire under my ass. So I start streaming more.
Are you more active on Twitch?
I used to be, but after certain circumstances, I took a long break. And now, like, my viewership isn't the same anymore.
Yeah, Twitch is getting pretty interesting the last few days.
Oh, what happened?
So essentially, they're kind of allowing porn now.
Oh, yeah, that like softcore, like, I don't know if you've seen the videos of it, but it's basically like girls that are topless and the video cuts off just above maximum boobage.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
You
it's
just
like
can't see their nipples. Like, that's it.
Yeah, it is the most amount of cleavage you could possibly have before you get banned. But what's real interesting about that is that if you're a VTuber and you have an avatar that shows the same amount of cleavage, your stream gets shut down.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That is interesting. No, I saw that video where that guy, he should get in trouble too because he was streaming her stream without permission.
Oh, I saw that one.
But yeah, she was like lifting her arms up and like dancing and like, yeah, it looked like it would be like, yeah, if she bounced just a little bit more, it'd be a nipple slip.
That's wild.
Yeah.
The entire internet is becoming adults only.
Yeah.
It kind of is.
On the one hand, it sort of makes sense to do it that way because the internet has been degenerate for I don't know how long.
Hugh Bo Burnham.
But on the other hand, I've been on the internet since I was 8, and I'm 36
I think I started
now.
around the same time, maybe.
I don't know. I grew up in a different internet when it wasn't quite so disgusting.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm a little bit younger. I'm 27, but the internet that I remember was you logged on to AOL, you spent 15 minutes letting it boot up for your parents to yell at you saying, get off the internet, I need to use the phone. And then if you needed to Google something, you asked Jeeves.
Oh, yeah. Ask Jeeves, Lycos,
Oh my
Alta
God,
Vista.
I forgot about
Like,
that.
YouTube wasn't a thing.
Holy
Google
shit.
I was a
wasn't
Lycos
a
guy.
thing yet.
YouTube's been a thing since 2008.
I don't remember when YouTube came out.
2007, 2008, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
Wait, did you say Yahoo?
Oh, Yahoo.
Yahoo was forever a thing.
Yahoo is now just fantasy football.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is it?
It's like a news aggregator and fantasy football site now.
I haven't searched that in forever, but I just remember the like, wasn't there something, was it a commercial or, I don't know what it was back in the day, but all I can think of is Yahoo.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
right. That's it.
Okay.
The company still exists somehow, but
The internet changing in the way that it is with adult content being what's being pushed. And I don't mean, nudity as adult content. I mean, like, anything that could be rated R. I mean, I go on Twitter and, I don't even follow these accounts. And the next thing I see is, like, the page is named Did You Die? And it's, like, major accidents
yeah.
or, like, workplace accidents or, violent crimes. A caught on CCTV just being displayed for the world to see. I'm like, how is this even allowed? But it's
For preventative reasons?
yeah. I mean, that's the blanket they're putting it under. But the truth is, it's for entertainment purposes. Everyone wants to see what they can't see every day, even if it's something that's absolutely terrible.
Well, and as long as it has shock value.
Exactly.
let's face it, we're mostly just staring at screens these days anyway.
Yep.
People really do need to go touch grass a whole lot more often. But I have noticed, like, comment sections, from the beginning, comment sections have been bad.
Yeah.
They've gotten even worse.
They've gotten a
lately.
lot worse.
It is so weird. I don't quite understand what's going on. Like, whether it's 12-year-olds who have never grown up in a world without the internet, or it's actual adults who just no longer give a crap about any sort of decorum or manners or anything. And, they're too burned out from what the world's turned into in the last 5 years that they kind of figure like burn down the forest.
So I actually just recently did a report on this. So I'm in school for nursing. I just finished my first semester, and part of one of my allied healths was actually a part of sociology, and it was the effect on the internet and the screen name. And basically what the article and what the peer review goes into talking about is that it's not so much of kids growing up on the internet, which definitely has a part in it. The kids of today, or even yesteryear, anxiety is more common, phone anxiety is more common, the inability to communicate properly face-to-face, and it's because everyone's used to doing it behind a computer screen or through a screen name or email and stuff like that, which is fine. I'm not, that's, if that's the way that society is going, then awesome. Effective communication happens very many ways. But the toxicity comes in with the fact of no reprimand. Because how do you reprimand MamaSAMmurai? You don't know who that person is. If you've never seen their face besides like a Twitch stream, then how do you reprimand that person in society other than saying you're canceled, blank avatar? So it's a little difficult. There's not that essence of, oh, you just said that, you're punished. Now, granted, there's always outliers of that. People can very easily find out who you are if you're not careful of hiding your information. But for the general list of it, I mean, look at Call of Duty voice chats.
Oh my God.
How are you gonna reprimand these people other than saying you're banned from using the voice chat? Like, it's stuff like that didn't happen in society before, the internet ran rampant. At least not as openly.
The way I've been putting it lately is that until the internet, and especially until social media, we all operated a little more tribally rather than globally.
Yes.
And now that we're operating globally, we see how these other tribes are operating, and we go, nope, war.
Yeah, which is interesting, because we should do the opposite. We now, and I say this all the time when someone asks me a question, I was like, why are you asking me? You literally have the power of the world in your pocket. Like, you have a supercomputer that can answer every single one of your questions.
Because I like hearing your voice.
That's fair. But it's like, instead of hating each other, we should embrace those cultural differences and whatnot. When you break it down to DNA, and this is a true statistic, we are 99.7% the same, you and I.
Yep. And, there's even like weasels that we're like 99.6 or 5%
Sharks.
the same as.
Believe it or not,
Sharks.
we are 99.4% the same DNA as a great white shark.
You guys are dropping some knowledge today that I had no idea.
Scoopy has a lot of knowledge.
Every living creature on this planet, essentially can be traced back to the last extinction event or even the one before that. The asteroid wiped out 99% of living creatures on the planet, say, that ended the dinosaurs. Whatever was left after that wasn't much. So it stands to reason that everything branched off from these last few remaining critters, and evolution took hold at that point and such. If you're the type to believe in theories of evolution, which I am, I'm also willing to believe that like changes in evolution are just patches to God's programming, is how I see it. But, I'm a game developer, so I think of everything in terms of code.
I'm sorry. The DNA share between a human and a shark is 80%, but it's 60% to a banana.
Okay.
Little fun fact for you there.
Wait, banana?
Speaking of which, I've got like 3 rotting bananas downstairs that are going to make some amazing banana bread today.
Banana bread at work, bro?
Oh, that sounds
Hell
so
yeah.
good.
You better be adding chocolate chips and vanilla.
Can we
Facts.
come over?
Ooh, I do have chocolate chips. I've got vanilla extract, so...
That sounds delicious.
It's so good. Oh my God. I wanted to touch back on how you were talking about, like, we could cancel people and things like that, and it's also super easy for us to ban people from things, but then On the other hand, it's easy for people to make another account.
Yeah.
Yep.
And have another name and come back. I was in BB Jess's stream one night, and there was some kid that she knew was super young, and she's like, oh, no mods, like, give him a second, let him talk. And then she's like, nope, ban him. And then he comes back as, like, another person, and she knew exactly who it was because of what they were saying
I've
to
had
her.
that happen to me.
And so he's made multiple accounts multiple times, but he's under 8. And it's crazy that, like, the internet footprint, like, you can't really erase somebody from it or stop people from trolling and doing what they do.
Nope, it's all about persistence, right? If the person really wants to be that way, they're going to be that way no matter what you do or what you say. It doesn't matter how many times you ban them, they can continue. And unless you're like a game developer and can ban their IP address, but like VPN. So.
Right?
Yeah. Like, there's ways around it.
Everything a game developer can do is still reactive rather than proactive. So, for instance, there's this guy, Thor, runs a YouTube and Twitch channel, Pirate Software, that has exploded in the last couple months from 15,000 followers to 900,000 followers.
Good for him.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
he's taking off.
That was crazy.
But he used to be a security specialist at Blizzard. And he explains that what they would do on WoW is they would let the bots basically go wild for 6 months. And yeah, you deal with the player reports and complaints and such. But then when those 6 months run up, they would just instantly ban 2 million accounts. And then what happens is all those accounts using the bot software would instantly charge back to the company that made that software in the first place, which would instantly put them out of business.
That was a long con for WoW. Not that it's a con, but still kind of is. Taking out a company, even though it's a bot company. Damn.
You know, that is a very interesting thing. So my background, besides going to nursing, is retail, and I've worked retail management, and kind of like the similar concept to that, right? Cheating, you're cheating something. Theft is considered cheating as well. What we would do in the LP world, and for anyone listening, this might be good knowledge for you to not do this. Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, any of those big box stores, if you're stealing from them, there is a 98% chance that they know you're stealing from them if you do it repeatedly. And they choose not to do anything about it.
They do. They know.
The reason for this is because their camera systems, their CCTVs are so good that they can literally see the fine print on a dollar bill. And they do. We've checked dollar bills that were fake at the cash register using a camera that's all the way on the roof. But what they do is they record you on every single store you go into until you rack up an amount of theft that is felony theft. And then, as you're leaving the store, they have you arrested after you hit that certain amount. And then you're screwed for life. Because now it's not petty, like, it's not petty theft, it's not a misdemeanor, it's felony. And you're done. So,
and you're banned from Walmart forever.
Oh, you're banned from Walmart. I've seen it happen. I've been behind it when I worked at Lowe's. Like it's this person habitually came in and would steal generators and DeWalt drill guns and whatnot. We would just let them walk out. So people think they're getting away with it, but we're just waiting. Those type of companies have so much money and so much insurance that it's like, go ahead, do it. We're gonna get you in the long run, and they do.
Yeah, that's what I had a friend growing up that he stole DVDs from Walmart for years, and then finally they arrested him. And like he thought he got away with it for so long, but I mean, imagine stealing DVDs. It would take a long time to rack up money. That's hilarious. That makes so much more sense now. Wow. Thanks for like solving a piece of my childhood.
So California now has their new law in place where no individual robbery under $900 will be prosecuted. And stores are just being looted like crazy out there. So you see, like, not only a lot of small businesses shutting down in California because they're just getting ransacked every single day, but even huge stores like Whole Foods are like, yeah, Whole Foods has closed down somewhere between 1 and 4 stores in California in the last few months, and everybody's just leaving because they're like, we can't handle this even from an insurance standpoint. It's one thing if somebody comes in once a week, takes something and leaves, and you're slowly racking up a case against them. But if everybody's walking in, taking every television in the store or doing 4 months worth of grocery shopping and just walking out without being prosecuted, you can't keep track of that many people at once. I mean, that's kind of insane.
Yeah, no, like I said, there's always outliers to the rule, right? And that is definitely one of them. California has some really interesting laws that like just don't help.
No, they really don't.
I feel like they think that they're progressive, but sometimes they're a little too far off that edge.
Yeah, I'm all for progressiveness, but like, wow, that's kind of wild.
That's not progressive right there. That's just anarchy.
I wonder what the reason behind that is. Like why did they let that be a thing?
I don't know. I really don't know the story behind what inspired that. I feel like they thought they were being, more generous to turn a blind eye. But also, $900 is not petty theft.
No, $900, you're getting close to that felony level.
Yeah, you're getting like 3 HD TVs, probably like 30 inchers. You're getting 3 to 4 months worth of food. You're getting a gaming PC. You're getting serious bang for your buck, or lack thereof, at $900. That's a lot of stuff. And the state is just turning a blind eye to that.
So they're like right below that threshold, which is insane. Here in PA, it's $2,000. So if you steal more than $2,000 worth of stuff, it's considered felony theft and grand larceny.
Really interesting.
Yep.
I don't know what it is in MA, but I assume it's around the same as PA. Us being one of a handful of commonwealths and all.
Misdemeanor offense in MA is $250. Grand larceny is $1,200.
Oh, we're low.
Yeah, $1,200 is pretty low.
We take things pretty seriously here.
Yep.
I respect it.
I also love that state, so.
We had a really, really pretty fall this year, honestly. My friend got married out in Harvard. And,
nice.
It was an outdoor ceremony right at the end of October. So there was a nice combination of color and green on a cloudy day, but like not too cloudy. One of those like you can see the clouds kind of cloudy days. It was really nice.
One of my all-time favorite spots to visit, there's a plate movement like a little bit north of Harvard that like overlooks everything over there. I forget what the name of the cliff is, but you could drive up it and you can literally just see for miles. If you look to your right, there's like a covered bridge, and then like in the fall time, it's just so pretty.
It's gorgeous. I live in a pretty state.
Oh my god. Sorry, my phone call was my husband telling me that he was coming home early, and I swear if that's him walking the door, that's really funny.
That is hilarious.
Like 5 minutes before you walk in the door.
Watch, it's not him walking in the door.
That would be an issue.
Who are you?
That would be a big issue, although my door is locked and you gotta have a fob to get in it, so it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Also, Sombra will absolutely destroy somebody that is not my husband. I know we kind of touched on the first game you guys played together, but what is your first game or games that you played, and how did they leave a impact on you in your life?
I'm gonna let Sam go first on this one.
So, my oldest sister, she's like 38 years old, so we have a pretty big age gap, and I used to sit in her bedroom with her and watch her play Halo, and she would give me a fake controller so I could feel like I was playing with her. She was like, "You're doing so good." I'm like, "I'm killing everybody." It was her the whole time. So that's kind of like what started in my gaming era, I guess.
That's adorable.
She didn't even let you join in as player 2?
No.
What?
I was like super young.
What is the age gap between you guys, if I can ask?
So I'm 24 and she's 38.
Okay, oh holy shit. Okay, me and my brother are 11 years apart, so that's very similar.
Yeah.
It's like a whole generation.
Yeah, my mom had me in her 40s, so. But she kind of started my love for gaming.
Just passively.
Mm-hmm.
My first game that I ever played, when I say this, I was born in 96. The game that I ever first played was made in 97. It's called Redneck Rampage.
What?
Oh, hell yeah, Redneck Rampage.
Oh my gosh. Is it a shooting game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I never owned it, but I remember seeing that box on the shelf forever at CompUSA and Micro Center back in the day. Just all the time.
So that game, Serious Sam, the first encounter, the original Far Cry's where you were fighting mutant aliens, like those are some of the first games that I played. There was like this mech one, and there was all for like Vista that I would play with my dad. Actually, I was like 5 or 6 playing these games after I would get done helping my dad build houses. We would come home and hop on the computer and just do that. So, and then from there, when I moved, when I was like 7 or 8, my next door neighbor had an Xbox. So similar to Sam, it was Halo. And then I stopped playing games for a very long time after that. I just didn't find enjoyment with sitting inside. I would actually go outside and, skateboard and mess around with quads and stuff like that until I was like 16.
See, growing up, I was kind of different than Scott. I'm very socially awkward sometimes, very anxious, so I stayed inside and I played video games. My mom actually signed me up for cheerleading without my knowledge to try and get me out of the house.
Oh my gosh. Then we talk about being something that like puts you at the center of attention or makes you be extremely social.
Yeah.
Oh
But
my
I
God.
ended up loving it, but I still loved my video games. And my sister, another game that me and my sister used to play all the time was Lollipop Chainsaw.
Such a good game.
Oh my god. I feel like, didn't that come up
Yes.
with Shohei?
No.
In episode
Lollipop
1?
Chainsaw came up in one of your streams with one of your friends.
Oh my god,
But I don't know
that's
who
right.
it was. And they were like super excited because it's coming back out or something.
Yeah, they're
they're
remaking it.
Yeah, there's like a
Yeah.
remake coming out.
Oh my God. I had never heard of that until I heard your friend talk about it. I was like, what the fuck is that?
It's actually so
Everything
fun,
is-
and like one year I almost went as her for Halloween.
Aw, that'd be badass.
It's crazy to like hear your story, Sam, because I was kind of like that too. Like I'm very antisocial.
I'm
And I would
so
rather be, like,
antisocial.
Inside, hanging out online with friends, playing
Yes,
a
that's
game.
what I do. But I also like to be alone, I guess.
Yep. I like to sit and play my Switch
Yep.
and not worry about anything or anybody or the world, and it's great. And I definitely I was forced to go outside and play with my friends.
I didn't have
and,
friends.
like-
That was my thing.
Oh.
Now
I
she
lost
does.
all of my friends.
We lived in a cul-de-sac, so it was kind of like you guys all live super close together, go outside and play. Like we were forced.
I was bullied in school, so I was
Oh,
also
no.
fucking... I was homeschooled.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm so sorry. It's just the way you said it.
I would always wanted to be homeschooled, which I know that wasn't always the answer to everything.
Well, I would get this thing of pure panic when I would walk into my school,
Oh.
where I would feel like I was gonna actually throw up, and I felt like the walls were moving in on me. Pumpkins barking. Yeah, from middle school to right after my freshman year of high school, school was really difficult for me.
It's just so interesting. I obviously adore the shit out of Sam, right? In my opinion, I think that we are an awesome match.
You
But
guys
we are,
I think
but
you
we are so incredibly different to the core. It actually it doesn't drive me insane. It's insane to think about because while she is super introverted and likes to be at home and playing video games and whatnot, I don't stream because I enjoy games. I play games because I enjoy streaming. It's the exact opposite for me than most people because I enjoy that interaction. I enjoy that personality and that whatnot. If I didn't stream ever again, as much as I enjoy it, I'd be okay with that because I would rather be outside than in my bedroom. I like hanging out with my friends and meeting new people or snowboarding or just, in general, just being around groups of people. I am 100% an extrovert. There's not even the slightest bit of introvert in me at any given time. Even when I want to be alone, I want to be around people.
No, and you sound super sociable. You're very talkative and want to interact and things like that.
My social meter tends to run out,
Yeah.
and that's just because I have a good handful of mental illnesses, considering my mom had me in her 40s. They told her that was gonna happen.
Wow.
So, like, my social meter is very low. Sometimes I literally just need to stay home because I'll go into, like, panic mode, or if there's too much sound, I'll get overstimulated, and I'm like, I need to go into a different room. And my brain just tells me to panic when there's nothing actually wrong.
Yeah, but it sounds like you have learned to understand that that's going on, which is a really good thing.
If you were to ever talk to my mom, she would tell you how much I've changed since I was in middle school.
Well, that's such a hard time for anybody, like, in their life. Like, you're trying to figure out who you are, and you're emotional, and there's stupid hormones, and, you know, minus all of that other stuff that you have going on, too. So I can't imagine how that was going through that, but...
Well, it wasn't even that. It was, like, the bullying on top of it. Like, this one thing that stuck with me all these years, even from elementary school, was this one kid told me I had to go on Weight Watchers.
Middle school bullying is the worst.
It is the worst.
And, like, that just sent me spiraling.
12 to 14-year-olds are just awful.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to make that generalization.
They think they know everything.
They're far too aware of themselves and the world at that point, but they still don't understand enough to, like, not be a dick, which kind of brings us back to the comment sections.
Yeah.
Like, literally, they bring that attitude with them everywhere they go. And
Yep.
Yeah.
so it's like they're still kids, but they're, you know, grown up, but they're not grown up.
They are not grown up.
They are not grown up at all. It's bad. So I was going to say, Sam, I'm pretty similar to you in that I have a social meter that runs out pretty quickly. So, like, I'll start out like Scott, and I'm jazzed up and I'm ready to, you know, talk with people and schmooze and such. A couple hours will go by and I go, and I'm ready for bed.
Yep.
Because I am in my mid-30s and to hell with all of you.
Yeah.
The way I like to explain that is, like, I feel that way too, but I always explain to people I'm an introvert and an extrovert.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same, and Scott's actually seen that.
Yep. Like, you have two cups, and, like, when one is empty, you have to fill the other one by doing other things. So, like, if my social cup is empty, I need to go home and shut myself in a room and relax.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of spoon
You know.
theory?
Yeah. Spoon
Yeah.
days. Good and bad spoon days, yeah. Or low
Yeah.
spoon days.
Yeah, that's the easiest way when I explain, you know, that type of thing to people. I use the spoons. If you get rid of all your spoons, you're screwed.
Yep.
So you gotta keep managed. See, but my thing is, I just make more spoons. I can just keep going. It's like, it's actually kind of annoying where it's like everyone around me is like done, and I'm like, I can literally go do something else. I'm good. But then don't get me wrong, I do have those days where I'm just like, I don't care about any of you. I'm chilling at home, and it's not so much that I don't want to be around people. It's like certain people just, their energy is even too much for me.
Yep, there's just some people that are just draining.
Yeah, there's always a bigger fish, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, when I first learned about the spoon thing, it was explained to me as, like, mental health and things
Yeah.
like that. But I didn't realize that it was originally made for people that deal with pain, like chronic pain. And it, like, if you Google it and you read information about it, it talks about people having, like, very low spoon days when they have extremely high pain and can't function. But people have turned it into more of a mental health thing as well. Which it is an easy way to explain, like, oh, I'm just having a low spoon day, instead of saying, you know, like, oh, I'm just not in a really good headspace, or today's a really bad day. Like, spoons are very simple.
Well, like, for example, my work schedule's starting to pick up, and this week I literally have one day off. So I had asked Scott if we could stay home today and do nothing, because I know this week I'm going to be doing a lot of running. Christmas is coming, I have to do shopping. It's the first Christmas without my father. So, like, everything is a little more heavy than it usually is. So I'm trying to give myself that time to veg out and to, like, bring myself back down to reality.
Yeah, but that's smart. Like, you're aware that this time's going to be hard and your work schedule's going to be crazy. And, oh my God, I'm sorry. The first of everything after stuff like that goes on is very hard.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I'm proud of you for preparing yourself.
She'll
Yeah,
get through it. I
I've
know.
learned that, but there's one thing there's this thing that my ex had instilled in me, was he did things without me, so I have FOMO.
Oh, yeah.
So I like to be involved, but sometimes my social battery is just so low, I can't.
I definitely get that. Like, I haven't been to PAX East in the last couple years, for instance, which felt really weird because for years I was going there to show off games or give a talk. And now convention happens, I'm like, well, you know, my social battery is pretty much permanently drained, but part of me still wants to be there.
Right.
Definitely feel like I'm missing out on, you know, an important industry event and such, but
I just like to be involved and not forgotten.
yeah. You know what it is? I'm that kind of person that likes to be invited to things
Yes.
and be given the opportunity to say no.
Most of the time I won't say no, but if I do, it's because I'm in a really bad headspace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can give you guys a different perspective on that situation as well, because I agree with what you guys are saying. I have a friend who's like that, and he is probably one of my best friends. Actually, he is the only person I have a matching tattoo with, and I see him a total of 3 times a year. If it's any more than that, something's wrong. And he's the same way, where I know he's going to say no. I am 100% positive that everything I invite him to, unless he asks me to do it, he is going to find a reason to decline. However, I still invite him because I know that he'll get upset if he doesn't. Now, the opposite's also true, right? Where it's like, oh, I get really excited to do this, let me hit up this person, and then they tell me no. It's like, man, why do I continue even to ask if I know the answer? So there's a line that I kind of had to draw in the sand, where if it has a possibility of him saying yes greater than 2%, I'm going to ask. If it's something that doesn't have anything to do with any of his hobbies that I knew at that given time, I don't bother, and it's kind of like a don't ask, don't tell type of thing. For the person constantly doing the inviting and then hearing the no, it does kind of like weigh on their soul a little bit.
But even then, choose me as an example.
Oh, you go everywhere.
He'll ask me to do something, I'm like, yeah, I rarely ever say no. If my battery's low that day, I will let him know in advance, like maybe my energy won't be as high. Like for an example, we had a Halloween party at a friend's house, and I was like this vibrant, talkative, energetic, and then like people were like, I've never seen that side of her before, and Scott's like, that's what I get to see most of the time.
Just interesting perspectives.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
But I do love my introverted friend. He is great. On a whim, him and I flew out to California to go see a band. So he does do sporadic stuff. It's just, it has to be very niche. Which apparently flying across the country to go see a band for 3 days is very niche.
He probably
It's certainly
needed
a
it.
niche idea. Not everybody would be.
When I do
up for
stuff
that.
like that, like on a whim, it's because I need it.
Yeah, he's an awesome. He's actually a cybersecurity manager for one of the largest like cybersecurity firms in the world, which is awesome. I'm very proud of him.
But people like that do need to let loose.
He tells me stories, and I'm like, dude, that's insane. Like,
Like, how are you still sane?
Have you ever looked at one of those like world attack maps that keep track of all the different cyber attacks going on across the world at any given moment?
yeah, he sends them to me pretty often.
Every time I look at those, I'm like, the internet is a mistake and we need to get rid of it.
Yeah, you know what's crazy too is going back to a previous topic. Their company is so reactive; it's insane. Like obviously they for their clients they like help them with mock phishing attacks to get their people trained up and whatnot. But like, there's always going to be a way in. He makes so much money. But also spends so much of his time that it's like, you know, you have to wait for something to happen. And the most recent one that happened, without divulging too much information, it like cost the company billions of dollars, and every single person on their network had to get an email out because they got all of their information stolen. Like every bit of it. And this is over a company that has multiple buildings in multiple states, in multiple countries, in multiple places in the world. Like, it took them like 3 months to figure it out.
That is crazy.
Luckily, the information was like user data and like your name and your birthday. It wasn't like social security number or stuff like that, but it was still enough data for them to like do something with, right? It's your information that you put on this server.
And you trusted it, and now you're in violation of EU regulations for letting that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, it happens though. More often than you think.
People are terrible.
Our continuing topic today, while we're trying to spread positivity and mental health awareness.
That is probably the title of this episode. People are terrible.
People are terrible. Oh my god.
You know what though? For every terrible person, there are 10 amazing people.
I would like to believe that. I really, really would.
I think 10 may be a stretch. Maybe 5, but...
No, I really think it's 10, right? Because think about it. What spreads faster? Positivity or negativity?
It depends where you're trying to spread it. I mean, negativity definitely spreads faster on the internet than positivity. And gets more clicks.
But that's where, like, most people find their negativity, right? Is, you know, obviously there's negative things happening in your daily life that isn't part of the internet. But, like, how often do you log on to the interwebs and see something that, like, breaks your heart? Or makes you sad? Or, like, someone saying something that isn't right, or you read a bad review about yourself, or if you're a professor or your business or whatnot. When I worked management, I used to always tell people, give the service you would want to receive, because for every one good review, there's 10 bad reviews. If you're giving multiple bad reviews, people are more likely to write that than that good review. And the same thing goes. You're more likely to complain about something on the internet than you are to say something positive.
So, you know what's funny along those lines? So the finals just shadow dropped the other day, along with the Game Awards.
And I was freaking out.
Yeah. And it's really exciting because I played the beta for a little bit and enjoyed it a lot. So I've got that re-downloaded and I'm ready to play it again at some point. But all the reviews were like, oh, they nerfed movement and everybody walks so sluggish now. And the developer literally came out and said, we didn't nerf movement. We lowered the default FOV. Just raise it back up to 90 if you prefer, and it'll feel as fast as before. And all of a sudden, the review score on Steam shot up from like 60% to 80% overnight because people were so embarrassed about the negative reviews they wrote when they should have just checked the settings menu that they, undid it for like the first time in history.
Communication's important, man. It's so incredibly important because it's, I keep going back to retail, but like at the end of the day, everything is being sold. Like everything, even when us as streamers, we're not the game that we are playing. People are going to watch someone play it. There's so many people in this space playing the same exact thing. Even if you think that you're one of the only people playing it, you're not. Why are people watching you? It's because of you. You're for lack of a better term, you're selling your entertainment to a group of people. I don't watch you for your raids or your cozy streams. I watch you because you engage with your chat in a way that I vibe with and I enjoy. The same thing with this podcast. I watch her because I love her. I don't watch these hot tub gamers streams because I enjoy people sitting around in a hot tub. I watch it and I listen to it because I enjoy the conversation that is being had. It's being sold to me. So, the same thing goes. It's like, hey, how are you going to make yourself different? Customer walks into a shoe store. Congratulations. Your customer's looking for shoes. Why should they buy the shoes from you?
Fair.
No, and that's honestly a huge compliment. I remember when I first started streaming on Kick, that was a poll that I put up on Twitter because I realized watching people on Kick, I didn't watch you because of the game you were playing. I went through streams and found people that I vibed with because I wanted to surround myself with really awesome people and sit and hang out with people. And so that's a really big compliment to me, honestly, because I love hanging out with my chat. I want people to come hang out with me because of me, not because of the game I'm playing. Especially as a variety streamer, I want to be able to play whatever I want to play and just vibe with people and have fun. And it was funny whenever I put that poll up, there was maybe 2 votes that said, because I asked, do you watch streamers because of their vibe or because of their game? And there were 2 or 3 votes that was because of their game, and there was a couple comments underneath of it, and it was kind of entertaining to see that opinion because when I streamed on Twitch, that was what I thought. I had to play the like newest and best game, and like the first game I wanted to play was Cyberpunk because it was coming out, and I was like super excited about it.
Yeah.
Then somebody was like, "Oh, don't stream that because there's a lot of like lewd stuff in it, and like you shouldn't do that." So I didn't, and then I got really discouraged streaming
I
on
understand.
Twitch because it felt like I wouldn't be able to keep up. I didn't want to play the FPS games everybody loved watching.
Nowadays, you could totally stream Cyberpunk on Twitch and definitely not get in trouble for it.
Well, kind of like that when Hogwarts Legacy first came out, because of how crappy my console was, everybody else got to play it before I did, and it made me not want to play it anymore. Like, I still haven't beat that game.
I also haven't beat that game, but it's because I won't beat it. I won't progress until Sam progresses.
And I'm so discouraged. I'm so
beautiful game.
discouraged to play it because, like, when I got it, it wasn't new anymore.
Yeah, that's the only exception to that rule, I feel. The only time that I feel like people come to your stream to watch the game specifically is when the game is brand new. I know for a fact that I did that. Like, I don't typically watch streams first thing in the morning, but when the new Fortnite stuff came out, I immediately logged on and watched Tim the Tatman play it because I wanted to see what the game was about, but I couldn't get on to play the game yet because I was doing something else. So it's like, I want to see what it's about. Is it worth the hype? So that I feel like that's the only exclusion. But even then, there's a caveat to that because I chose to watch Tim the Tatman play it because I enjoy his stream.
Yep. And like, you're not going to discover necessarily somebody new that's a small streamer playing a game that all these people are playing at the same time because it's the first day. You know, like your discoverability disappears.
Yeah,
with all
unless
that.
you're the type of person who specifically tries to find someone like that. Like how I did the other day when I put that guy in your chat. And I was like, let's go hang out with him.
Oh my God, yeah.
There's days where I specifically like I'll type a game in and I set it to lowest view count and I just go through until I find someone I vibe with and I just hang out with them the entire night.
No, that was awesome.
Or if there's, like, a game that's, like, old, for example, like The Sims 2, if I were to go on, like, Twitch or Kick and look, there aren't that many people streaming that anymore. So if I wanted to find somebody new, that's where I would go.
You know what I always try to find, because I do some variety streaming myself, but I try to find games that have not so many people watching at the moment, but a surprising number of people follow.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
So that they can maybe get a notification of, oh, hey, so-and-so, Plaid Baron is streaming Castle Crashers, or Braid, or whatever I, choose to play on a particular day. So people will show up and be like, oh my God, somebody's actually playing this game? Hi, nice to meet you. And I'm like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, it's a good way to boost viewer and engagement.
I like finding those niche games that are a little bit older, or more indie, a little more unknown, whatnot, that could use a boost, whether they're brand new or they came out, years ago. I mean, I have over 400 games in my Steam library, so I've got...
You have a problem, sir?
I have been on Steam practically since day one.
Holy shit.
Back in, 2004.
You know what's an interesting thing to think about, too, though, is, going back to the mental health aspect of this, you probably, when you do stuff like that, you are probably making someone's day 1,000 times better, because they might have followed that and forgot that game existed, and, no one's playing it, and then they get notified, oh, Plaid Baron's playing Castle Crashers, or Maple Story, or something like that.
Oh my God, I haven't played Maple Story since college, but I've been thinking about it a lot.
It's so cute.
You guys have another topic that's coming up soon that we're gonna go back to Maple Story, but it's you can make someone's day so much better by just showing someone that what they think is fun, and that someone else cares about that or someone else enjoys that. So it's back to for every bad person there's 10 good people. Define good. Doing that is good. And, if you bring people into your community and find a way to bring people into your community and make them feel at home, congratulations. You're a good person.
And here's 4 of us sitting in a hot tub talking about that. So we're 4 of the 10.
Yeah, look at that. 4 of the 10 right here.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
I like that.
And then your chat, both of you. I mean, there's 5 more people in Rose's chat because everyone that watches her is amazing.
I'm one of them.
Then
I gotcha.
Then there's the people in your chat that are amazing too. And then, I like to think that people who come in and watch my streams are amazing. So I can think of at least 30 people off the top of my head right now who are absolutely amazing. And if I think about people who just absolutely I cannot stand because they are, not great people, I can think of maybe 2.
Yeah.
Be the statistic that you want to explode.
No, and surround yourself with that. And like, it's the same thing on Twitter, I feel like, too. It was weird to sign on to Twitter every now and then and see people talking about drama. And I'm like, what drama are you talking about? Like, it would just be like a handful of people like, oh, I can't believe this is going on. And like,
people find issues with everything, though.
They do. And then
it's an echo chamber.
If you're not involved in it, though, you don't see it. I don't see any of it. I see somebody saying that there's drama going on, but I don't see the drama going on because I don't follow all those other people that started the drama.
They take everything so seriously nowadays.
They do. They definitely do. But I love that, like, I can basically sign on to all my socials and it's all positive and it's all love and yeah, like
I've had to unfollow a lot of people. So I'm a huge Sea of Thieves player. And so Sea of Thieves just came out with a new feature called Safer Seas, which eliminates the PvP aspect of the game entirely because it's just you and your friends on a boat and you can go do world events and gather treasure and such. So it's meant as a way to teach new players how to play the game or for experienced players to just vibe out and not worry about toxic pirates on the seas ruining their day for them. I think it's a great feature, but the community has been so, like, from the PvP crowd, there has been a lot of backlash against it, but it is mostly the PvP crowd that likes to just find fresh spawned ships and go after them and sink them and then act like dicks.
Sounds like Rust.
Yeah, a little bit. Pretty similar to that. So now all of a sudden, whoever's left on the PvP servers has to actually watch out for themselves and put in effort, and they don't like that.
No.
And I'm like, I don't feel sorry for you.
Yeah, you know what's crazy to think about that, though, right? And even though I try to be as positive as I possibly can, I'm a statistic myself. Like, when the recent COD update came out and the game was broken, I immediately tweeted Activision. I will admit to that. I'm the person that if I pay for something like that and an update comes and it's broken and it's completely shutting down and whatnot, I'm going to complain. But at the same time, I try to do it respectfully. But I didn't complain about, like, this new thing you tried is bad. Like, it was actual game-breaking stuff. Like, things weren't tracking, game was shutting down, I lost my stuff, stuff like that. So many people, like, are like, oh, this is new? I hate it.
Yeah. They're like, I don't want new, I want old repackaged.
Yeah, the same thing goes
with
for,
a newer look.
Yeah, the same thing goes
with
with
newer
like,
look, but the same exact thing.
The same thing goes with your game, Sea of Thieves, and for me, it's Rust. It's like, when I log on to Rust, I know for a fact what I'm getting myself into. I know that it is, regardless of what the polls say, it is the most toxic game ever created, and that is why it was created. The developers knew exactly what they were doing when they created that by giving everyone free reign to do whatever they wanted, because they knew that people were going to go back to their root ways and just be terrible people. And that's exactly what it is. When you log on to that, if you're a naked to have nothing, and you see someone with a full kit, like guns, heavy armor and whatnot, they're going to kill you. 100% of the time, you're going to die for the sole reason of because you don't have that same stuff. And, oh, you just built a brand new base and you don't have anything? You're being rocket rated. Why? Because they can. And it's just how it is. That community is toxic. And that's kind of the reason why I log into it, because it's like, okay, I have positivity everywhere else. I want this toxic game because it's actually fun to destroy these people.
You need your dose of toxicity.
Yeah, but it's in a fun way.
If you just like overdo the positivity, then you're going to be like a balloon. You're going to explode at some point. You got to let some air out once in a while.
It's the cup theory. It's the cup theory all over again.
Yeah, you can ask Sam. Me and my buddy Josh get on Rust, and we both literally say, well, time to complain about our lives for the next 45 minutes until we get off and play something else.
Well, to go back to when we first started dating, literally the first night I slept over here, and then the next day, you're like, can I get on Rust? I'm like, I don't give a shit. And I used to sit between his legs on the floor and watch him play this game, and he's fucking cursing these people outside. He's like, they're offlining us, oh my fucking god! And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh my god.
You're like, what did I get myself into?
I know when I play that game, it's gonna make me mad, and I'm gonna get furious, I'm gonna get pissed off. But I play it anyway.
That's like Destiny for me.
Oh man, I've watched Hempidemic and Grislow Gaming play Rust, and I have never seen the toxicity. It's funny to listen to you say all this, and like I totally believe it now, especially like how you explained it. But like watching them play, I've never seen them rage or be around toxicity in that game, so I'm a little
It also
shocked.
depends on the server as well.
Yeah, it depends on the server, but I can assure you. So what Grislow does very well, and I love Grislow. He's actually one of my...
Grislow's amazing.
He's like one of my favorite streamers, and it's really interesting because he is so positive in his streams, right? He's always so loving and caring and just so welcoming and whatnot. He posts on Twitter about how DayZ is the game you're thinking of that he was playing. How, like, the people he was playing with were toxic and how there was drama and whatnot. And, like, you don't see that in his stream because he completely blocks it out. And then he tweets about it. And I'm like, where was this? I didn't see this. I think it was like for the first time he was streaming the other day, and like I think something got to him because he ended stream on it. And I messaged him. I was like, hey man, what's going on? And then the next day it was like nothing ever happened. Him and I played Modern Warfare Zombies yesterday. It was like the toxicity never happened. He is so good at compartmentalizing that stuff and like just moving on. Just keep going. And he powers through it, and, like, I love it. He has every reason in the world for most people just to quit streaming entirely, and just, like, do something else. But he is consistent, and he, like, tries so hard to create this community, and he's succeeding. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I have to tell him this. And if he's watching, awesome. He created this community, and even though there are some bad seeds in the community, and he's finding that out, and he's kind of, like, you know, harvesting them out and moving them elsewhere, he has created a community where, like, you and I are talking about him in such a positive light. And I'm sure that happens so many other ways. So again, it brings it back. For every 2 people talking bad, how many people are talking good about you?
Yeah. Yep. No, Grizzle's one of my favorites too. And like, he's always so happy, always so positive, and he always wants to make sure that you're doing good too and make you feel comfortable and safe on his stream and in his community. And it's funny. I was actually just sitting here and I'm like, I need to clip this and send this to him because I feel like sometimes he needs to hear that because I don't think he hears it enough, you know?
I don't think anybody hears those kinds of things enough.
No.
I genuinely enjoy hanging out with him.
Yeah. Yep. And his community, like even like sitting in his chat, like if he's paying attention to his game and he can't look over for a second, his chat is talking to you and making sure you feel comfortable in there as well, just like he does.
100%. And I think this might be why people are like, sometimes towards him. It's because when he's focused, he gets very blunt and to the point and answers really quickly and answers this specifically. If you don't stream, you don't know like how hard it is to look away from what you're doing constantly and answer that chat real quick and try to be as, you know, interactive as you possibly can. But for us, it does get a little difficult when we're like surrounded by hordes of zombies we're trying to kill, so we don't lose all of our gear.
That I can
like
really do.
So he does come off a little dry sometimes. But it's not because he doesn't care, it's because he's trying to make the best possible content that he can. And I think that's where some of his naysayers come in at. But to have a naysayer is kind of a good thing, right?
Yep,
it means like
it's like, Ma, I made it.
if you don't upset someone, are you actually doing what you want to do?
Yep, especially on the internet, just like, well, everything that we've been talking about. But I mean, that's why I struggled. I don't know. I didn't want to always stream my raid nights, and I have a really hard time talking to my chat. And I've implemented so many things to try to help people understand they got to be patient with me on those nights, and it has helped me. Like I've seen like my viewership kind of go up because I have these things that ask people to kind of like, hey, give me a second. I would love to talk to you, but just like give me a second. And like Botrix automatically does that for me.
Yeah.
But that's always a worry for me that like I'm going to piss people off or I'm going to bother people or people are just going to leave because I can't look over and chat right away. Because I love chatting. I love getting to know people. But yeah, that's one of those things that like I love to raid and I want to share that with my community. And I'm glad that I have a space for it now. But it took me, God, I've been raiding for years and I've been streaming for years. And it just took me until this year to figure that out. And it makes me more comfortable, and it also seems to like allow chat to understand that they gotta have a little patience with me to look over and respond.
Yeah, 100%. And like, it's a balancing act, and I love it. Like, I think it's so much fun. And I'll be honest with you, this might be a very interesting way of looking at it, but I get intrigued by watching my numbers plummet just as much as I like watching them go up. I like looking at things at an analytical sense, right? Like, it shows me, oh, I did this, don't do it. this was bad. And then I change it and then the numbers go up again. It's like, okay, so I'll do this. As much as I don't like streaming to one person, there's a reason for it. And I like finding out that reason.
Yeah, no, it's telling you something, and it shouldn't always be about the numbers, but that does help you kind of adjust your brand, adjust what you do, adjust maybe how you interact with your community or like what have you. But it does help whenever you look at it.
Since we're talking both about positivity but also terrible people, I almost wonder if it's worth talking about the bonus topic more than just the same topics as every week. So for the bonus topic, we'd like to take, a little bit of a look at the Game Awards, and in particular, how little they care about video games.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys what we want to do. We try to keep this to 2 hours to like respect your time and then also not be here all morning. And today's my anniversary.
Aww.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. It's our dating anniversary. Our wedding anniversary is in April, but we celebrate this. Yeah.
What day in April?
What day in April? The 17th.
That's the day after my uncle's birthday. I was hoping you would say the 9th because that's my birthday.
Oh, you're an April person too. Cool. But yeah, so I probably have a little over 20 plus minutes to hang out and stay here, but I would like to wrap up reasonably. So it's up to you guys if you want to go through the other 3 topics or if we want to do gaming awards or what. But I've really thoroughly been enjoying what we've been talking about, which is why I haven't reeled us in more than I have.
I'm under the opinion of if it's not broken, don't fix it. So if we want to talk about the Game Awards, because I definitely I think that is a very interesting topic. And while the other topics were interesting, I actually got really excited when you put the bonus topic in.
So, we're going to talk about the Game Awards here, and in particular, we are going to talk about how more time and more focus was given to Hollywood celebrities and advertisers and sponsors rather than to the games that won the awards themselves. So in particular, if you look at Indie of the Year, which Sea of Stars won that, it's a gorgeous game. And Keeley just glossed over it. And he's like, and the award for Indie of the Year goes to Sea of Stars. Congratulations, guys. Whatever came next, just completely glossed over it.
I noticed that.
Baldur's Gate 3, which basically swept the entire show, wins Game of the Year. The team goes up to accept the award. And they're talking about the crew who sadly passed away during development. And big sign comes up on stage that says, please wrap it up. Because Christopher Judge last year gave an 8-minute speech to accept Best Performance Award, they, were speeding up everybody's acceptance speeches. And, even he made a joke about that this year about how his speech was still longer
than the Call of Duty campaign.
Yeah, that was...
What a dick thing to say.
Kind of funny, but kind of a dick thing to say as well.
Oh, it was totally funny. But, it was totally an asshole thing to say.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you don't make the games. As far as I can tell, zero respect given to game developers at the Game Awards. When you think about the shit that game developers have to go through every day, we have goblin communities, people filing negative reviews as bug reports, say we're not given bonuses by our publishers unless we hit Metacritic 85 or higher. And then, for our awards nights to just gloss over us in exchange for, Mountain Dew. It bothers me. It bothers me a lot how a guy like Jeff Keighley, who's been involved in the games industry for ages and is well respected in the games industry as a leading media figure, could make the executive decision to limit any developer presence maybe 20 minutes out of a 3-hour event that's supposed to be dedicated to games. Just really strange to me.
I have zero background in game development or graphic design or anything like that besides my own doing. So as far as a developer goes, I have no idea what goes into your guys' daily life.
Pain.
I couldn't fathom making an entire game that lasted 10 seconds, let alone 3 hours. With that said, I am not oblivious to the fact that people are going to complain and bitch about stuff because, they spent money on it.
Mm-hmm.
To a degree, I agree with that notion because at the end of the day, if you're going to offer a service, right, and you're going to say, we're going to provide you this, and you're going to pay for this, and you don't supply me with that exact thing that I'm paying for, you were dishonest to me. The reason behind it to a consumer doesn't matter. You know, look what happened with Cyberpunk, right? When that game came out, CD Projekt Red. That was a dumpster fire. That game was like, it was garbage, to say the least. It had so many bugs, so many issues, so many problems that, like, why'd you even release
Still a really pretty game, though.
The DLC is amazing. People are ranting and raving about it. The game score right now is the best it's ever been. Why didn't you release this at launch? And the reason why, and I don't think it comes down to the developer, I think it comes down to, and again, this is the outside point of view, it comes down to the marketing, and it comes down to the people, you know, who are making the money off it, the shareholders. They knew that people were hyped about it, they were going to buy it. And the same thing happened at the game show. Why spend that much time talking about the developers when you can talk about the next one, or you can talk about the new game that group is coming out with, or, oh, people know this name, let's have them talk on stage for 15 minutes or whatever. So you're right, the developers don't get the time of day, and it's strategic, in my opinion, from a marketing standpoint.
Oh yeah, it's all about money.
Yeah.
So Alana Pierce, who is another media streamer type, she was saying in her YouTube video yesterday that Reggie Fils-Aimé was sitting right in front of her at the Game Awards. And he used to be president of Nintendo and well-recognized presence if he were to come out and give Game of the Year. But they got Timothée Chalamet instead because Hollywood actor.
What the fuck?
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh my god. I missed all that because I was raiding.
No, I was, when I started gaming, I muted it.
Oh my god, that's insane.
I actually made a tweet about this, and I had a large conversation with a friend of mine who is in the video game world the other day. Game companies, not the developers, because I would like to think the developers really do care about the quality of the game they're putting out, but Activision or Blizzard or Bungie or Ubisoft, with the exception of Mark, they only care about the metrics and the shareholder value.
The bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at Modern Warfare, for example, right? This game is amazing. I love it, personally. I think it's great. Except for the fact of they are forcing you to be in the game longer. They want you to grind more. They want you to do more. They're making things harder to achieve. If there's a bug, it takes a little bit to fix it. The developers aren't, again, this is from my perspective, the developers aren't told to fix the game-breaking bugs as quickly as they are told to fix the XP patches. You can have a bug where you're falling through the ground at a certain spawn, and then there's a bug where more XP is being given. Which is going to be fixed first?
I can tell you exactly what's going on there is that, and they're not the only instance of this, even historically, but the QA teams are basically being pushed aside in exchange for, you know, what's going to bring in the most revenue the most quickly. And game-breaking bugs are not generally the issue, prevents people from spending money in a game, oddly enough. So you can have the QA team jumping and screaming for ages about, like, hey, we have this bug in here and we got to get this fixed up. And they are told, go screw, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how to make a game. You're, 16, 20 years old. Nobody cares what you have to say. You have studios basically laying off their entire QA teams lately, thinking, oh, we don't need them. We can run QA through AI or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll just run, playtest groups once in a while. And it's really not the same as having somebody for hours every single day scrutinizing every single system and how those systems interact with all the other systems in your game. They are really like your frontline players who will be able to understand every single nuance and meaning behind every design choice in your game and make sure that it's actually fun to play. And they're given absolutely no respect in the industry. It is sad to see.
Yeah, it is quite unfortunate. To the same point, it's like, it's not just the game-breaking bugs that I'm referring to. It's the fact of, like, the new armory system in COD, right? Like, oh, you just spent all this time unlocking the gun? Well, now you gotta complete daily challenges to unlock this attachment to use it.
Or you have to finish another gun.
Or you have to finish another gun to get that attachment to use on this gun. It's always reasons to get you to continue playing it. And then, like, there's other games out there that's like, oh, you want to play this solo? It's too hard. You're going to need someone to play with you. And it's to boost the amount of people playing it and the amount of time that's being spent.
Time and money.
Yeah, and it's sort of a gacha technique.
Destiny's king at
it. Destiny does it a lot. Japanese
Yeah.
mobile games do it a lot. I used to play Mega Man X Dive before the offline version came out. And so they would do this thing in the story where it's like you would play through, a chapter of the story. And then in order to progress, you have to go back and play previous chapters on hard mode and finish those up. And then you could continue the story in normal mode. And then you'd have to go back and do hard mode. And like on the one hand, that's one way to like get better at the game. But then on the other hand, it's like, yeah, but I just want to keep playing and play through, and you're putting up sort of artificial roadblocks that don't necessarily need to be there.
I agree, but back to the Game Awards, it's like if you're not a game developer and you have a platform, who was it? Action Man the other day said all that crap and like just absolute hate, and his response was, "I have a platform, you don't."
I saw that.
He had a point. He does have a platform, and I don't. So why use your platform for hate? And the same thing goes for the guy who voices Kratos when he said that thing about COD. Why?
Why are you up there throwing shade?
Right, like as a community, we understand that the campaign mode this year sucked.
Right.
It was too short. It was not immersive. I haven't even beaten it yet because I just don't care, and I'm mostly a campaign player. But why use your platform to say something that everyone already knows? Was it for clout? Because now you're getting more hate, but at the same time, negative talk is still someone talking about you.
It did kind of feel like all the Hollywood celebrities who got up there this year were just chasing clout. You got Christopher Judge throwing shade at Call of Duty. You got Simu Liu being like, I used to play StarCraft, guys! Look at my broken foot! And then you've got Timothy Chalamet being like, I made money on Twitch by painting Xbox controllers. What's up?
No, it's totally crazy to like hear that. I didn't get to watch it because I was raiding, but like I just assumed that it was an awards show. I didn't realize that they were announcing a bunch of things. Like I started getting messages about like DLC and new games coming out and all this stuff. It was a really weird experience while I was raiding because I was just waiting to hear who won best of everything or who was game of the year and not all this stuff. And now listening to you guys talk about these celebrities being up there, like I wouldn't have expected that. Like that's, I don't know.
They really need to split the show.
They need to reel it back in.
Yeah, they need to split the show up into the Winter Games Fest for all the game announcements, and then run the Game Awards like an award show and keep it to relevant people, even if they're less recognizable.
Right, and I get that they probably want to pull people in that aren't just gamers, aren't just nerds, and whatever you want to label that as, which I'm very proud to be all of that, but that's just too far, I think. Like, why not have somebody that is actually involved with that? Like you said, the Nintendo guy that was sitting there in the audience, like he could have easily been up there and like people could have been hyped about that, and somebody that didn't know who he was could have been like, oh my god, who is that? And then starting to learn more about video games and the companies that run them instead of Timothy.
Right. There are a lot of people from the games industry that people will recognize. Hideo Kojima, for one, is always on stage because he's good friends with Jeff Keighley, so he always has like a VIP invitation. Reggie Fils-Aimé attends every year. You've got...
You're saying these names so well, by the way.
Oh, I mean, because I know half of them. So,
I would butcher them.
There are semi-celebrities. They're not the biggest celebrities on the planet, but there are semi-celebrities in games that could come up on stage. But the sponsors probably force them to be like, nope, you need actors, so find Hollywood actors that you can bring on stage. So instead of anybody actually involved in game development being on stage, they find celebrities who happen to have played StarCraft or done a voice in a game previously, rather than Mike Chapman from Rare or Reggie or Shigeru Miyamoto or anybody recognizable from the games industry that the gamers would love to see. coming on stage and presenting these awards. And to me, it's like, you guys already have your times to shine. You have the Oscars, you have the Golden Globes, you have the Emmys. Stay in your lane and let us have our night?
Yeah.
Is that so much to ask?
Well, considering, like, Timothée Chalamet is, like, an actor, he literally has his own night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Oscars.
He has
Yep,
many
yep.
nights.
Is this like them trying to show boobies?
Probably.
Like they pull their card of, oh, here's a celebrity. Like we're gonna like up our viewership. Like more people are gonna watch this. Like people showing their boobs.
Mm-hmm.
So, with all this talk of actors coming up on stage, I do want to share a caveat because I'm big on balance, right? There was one actor who came up on stage. I can't even call him an actor because he does more than that. He's a voice actor. He creates skits. He creates movies. He's a director. Jordan Peele. When he came up on stage and was talking to Hajime or whatever his name is,
Hideo. It almost looks like they're remaking PT together.
Yeah.
but when he came up and gave that speech, you could tell that he's not a game developer. And he never claimed to be. He is someone who genuinely enjoys video games, and he had nothing but good to say. And it actually made me hype for the game coming out, and for the developer, and for the studio and whatnot creating it. And I think that's how it should have been handled, right? Because and at no point did he claim to be a voice actor for a game. He said, I'm collaborating on this with this amazing group of developers. And like he gave all of the praise to them while saying, I'm collaborating it. So yeah, there was the clout factor there. But he deserves the clout because he is an amazing person who stands up for his community and creates amazing movies and amazing skits and has amazing rhetoric. And I actually thoroughly enjoyed when he spoke.
Key and Peele is one of my favorite sketch comedy shows of all time. So
Yeah.
I definitely respect the man. And I respect the approach of, he wasn't coming out and trying to take credit for the game. He came out to be working with Hideo Kojima, who happens to be good friends with Jeff Keighley. That connection there allowed those two to come out together.
It's like a really graceful way to do that.
But then you look at Christopher Judge, he, has not come out with any of the God of War development team in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And that to me is a little weird. It almost feels like he's taking credit for God of War.
Yes.
And not even David Jaffe has been invited.
He has what I like to call the frontman syndrome, where it's like you have... What's a band that I could think of that doesn't necessarily have this?
Bullet for My Valentine.
No, let's go with Bring Me the Horizon, right? I don't know if you guys listen to them, but they're a pretty big UK heavy metal band. And everybody knows their lead vocalist, Ollie Sykes. Nobody knows anyone else from the band by name.
Ice Nine Kills, Spencer
Or
Charnas.
Ice Nine Kills, Spencer Charnas. He's a big horror metal vocalist.
He's the one that's in everything.
Yeah.
Not the whole
It's
band.
like, you have a whole group of people behind you, but everyone only knows this one face because they're the vocalist, or they're the, the hottest one in the band,
Right.
right?
Crazy.
And it's the same thing that's happening with Kratos. It's like, oh, everyone knows this iconic voice, so that must mean that I am the most important person. And I think that's, maybe that's not what maybe that's not the case, but that's what was portrayed to me, at least, by him coming up there and being like, oh, this is who I am.
Yeah, a little bit. And then, meanwhile, conversely, I don't know if you saw Poets of the Falls performance.
I did not.
Okay, well, you probably saw them as Old Gods of Asgard up there,
Probably.
playing their song from Alan Wake 2. And they put on this whole theatrical performance with it, and it was fantastic.
I think I watched that.
And then toward the end of it, Sam Lake, the designer of Alan Wake and Max Payne, comes up on stage and dances with them as well. And Poets of the Fall is this incredible Finnish rock band that I've mentioned on the podcast before. I've been a huge fan of them since college, but they'd never tour America. So it was exciting to see them come up, and really exciting to see Sam Lake sneak his way into that dance number as well, because he probably got the most time on stage of any lead game designer for the entire night.
Yeah.
And he was just dancing.
And he was just dancing. It's really weird to think about how the Game Awards just doesn't respect the art form that it's supposed to be acknowledging.
Or it doesn't honor the right side of it all.
Yeah, it's really not honoring the right side of it. It's giving a whole lot more attention to the actors who, come in for a day or a week on a game.
Yeah.
to record some voice rather than the artists and programmers and sound designers and composers who
spent
years toiling on this art.
So I only watched bits and pieces of it. Sam watched more, so maybe there's more than just this one. But there's only one instance where I could think of a game developer or an owner of a whatever came up there and like talked about their game, and it actually kind of got me in the feels. Maybe because of Sam's situation with her dad.
The guy about the dad.
But the guy who came up and was talking about the game that they created, that his dad unfortunately passed away, so this game is like, in honor of him, and it looks really good. It's like Spyro-esque, but it like, you could tell the guy really wanted to go into like African culture because of his heritage and whatnot. And the game looks really good. And the story from even the trailer looks really good, but they gave him the time to talk about his story, talk about how the game came to be, talk about his unfortunate passing of his father, and then they showed the trailer, and it was a full-length trailer. And I can't remember the name of the game, and I feel bad for it, but it looks really good.
Gives me goosebumps.
And I
almost started crying.
I was really happy to see that come up there, and I'm thinking about buying the game, even though I don't typically like that style of game animation. The story behind it captured me, and I'm really contemplating picking it up and playing it now. Because they gave it the time it deserved. And I think that if they did more of that for more games, and didn't just put this whole topic's point of, the people who are actors and, stuff like that up, I think that, more games would sell. And more people would be more hyped.
Yeah, or people would be more invested in them.
I think more people will be excited for games, and the game awards would be back to what it needed to be. They need to take focus. And yes, they need to bring focus to developers, but maybe bring focus back to the game itself instead of the people who are voice acting as well.
Yeah.
Like why it's made and what people go through to make it.
The story behind it.
Yeah, the passion that builds it. Man, that's such a hot topic. It's funny, Scoopy, whenever I was looking at all the tweets about like who won and like who were up for awards but didn't win any, I was kind of giggling at Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man was up for like 6 awards and didn't win any.
I giggled a little bit at Spider-Man, and I definitely giggled at Starfield. I feel really bad for Bethesda. Yeah. They keep biting off a lot more than
Spider-Man deserved a lot more than it.
It at least deserved something.
Yes,
instead of
Spider-Man
nothing.
deserved at least graphics, I would say.
Yeah, I actually think that should have won Game of the Year. And I saw a lot of people complaining that like it shouldn't have, because all they showed was the cinematics. And, they were like, you shouldn't base a Game of the Year by the cinematics. And I agree. The gameplay looked better, in my opinion. But then again, I'm also not the type of player who's going to play Baldur's Gate. So that's not my type of game.
Well, remember, the winners of the awards are picked by the internet for the most part.
Yeah.
I think it's weighted, but I think Baldur's Gate also got like 90% of the Game of the Year vote from the internet, so there's no way to weight that in anybody else's favor.
No, I'm not complaining that they shouldn't have won 100. Like, that game captivated anyone who enjoyed it. Just wasn't my type of game. So I just really enjoyed Spider-Man.
I enjoyed Spider-Man. I didn't play it. I watched him play it. Like I would be at work and he would start shooting. I'm like, wait for me! I can't watch.
That name of that game that I was talking about, by the way, is from Surgent Studios. It's called Tales of Kenzera. Zao.
Oh yeah,
it's really good.
Heartfelt.
It's you could tell the guy cares. And
he was more of a voice actor than anything else, but because of his father passing, it was different.
That's the name of the game that you just sent us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Tales of Kenzera.
Yeah. It looks really good. It definitely has like that Hollow Front or Spyro or, old Mario and stuff like that type of animation style to it. I'm not entirely sure what you consider that. Like, the story looks cool.
I remember seeing a poster for it now that I see that name. It's really colorful.
Very colorful.
Oh, man. That was a great topic.
Yeah.
All these topics have been great.
And with that, I think we have to pretty much call it a show at this point.
We kind of do. We do like to kind of wrap things up with a group photo, if you guys don't mind indulging with us. And also, I would love to ask you guys if you have any suggestions for us, since you've been hanging out with us today and on our podcast and know what we've been doing. We would love to hear if you have any recommendations for us to kind of adjust and change things.
Did you guys say that you try to use the same topics, like that list? They're the same every week?
They're not the same. So we have a list of like 8 topics that the guests can pick from. And we try to let them pick 4 for us to go
Okay,
through.
so I don't know how you guys feel, but so I read all the topics, and I think they're great. However, I think that, at least conversely, like talking to you guys, I think the fact that we went off tangent so much and like talked about one specific topic but like brought in other ones, I think that like maybe having an idea of the general gist of what you want the show to be about going forward might bring in more natural conversation, and you might be able to touch topics that you didn't even think of.
Yeah, I definitely.
Which is what I feel like happened today, which is really cool.
Because I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun, just kind of shooting the shit to the point, the good and the bad. Like, people were shitty, but also people were really nice. Yeah, stuff like that.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that advice and that suggestion. I really, really do.
Sam, do you have anything?
No.
You guys, I appreciate you so much for being on here with us.
Well, this was hella fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed this.
Yeah. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Shall I wrap us up?
Yeah, why don't you wrap us up?
Thank you guys for tuning in. This was Gamers and Hot Tubs Talking Nerd Life, episode 3 with MamaSAMmurai and ScoopyToos. You can find both of them on kick.com/MamaSAMmurai and ScoopyToos, respectively. This is Kaylee, or Bad Wolf Rose, signing out.
And this is Danny, or Plaid Baron, signing out. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye, guys.
You've been listening to Gamers and Hot Tubs Talking Nerd Life, part of the Hot Tub Gamers Network. To support the show, or be a guest on an upcoming episode, please visit our Beacons page at beacons.ai/hottubgamers, or follow us on all social medias at Hot Tub Gamers. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review, especially if you enjoyed your time with us in the hot tub. Thank you for listening. We'll see you soon.